A mother at my daughter's kindergarten brainwashed her, and it worked.
You gotta throw some dirt in that brain, make it unwashed again.
I am a working mother of an adorable 4-year-old girl, Katie, and have a really good job, which I landed straight after uni. My partner and her father, let's call him Jay, is completing his PhD. Due to our workload, our little one is going to a small kindergarten near our place. By the way, this comes from Throw Mom, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. One day, my daughter came up to me for cuddles after work and asked me, "Mummy, when are you going to stop working?" I assumed she meant when I'm taking my summer holidays off, and I told her in a few months so we can visit Grandma and Grandpa. After further discussion, I realized she meant, "When am I quitting my job permanently?" I asked her what made her think that, and she said, "Mummy's are for home and Daddy's are for work." I was dumbfounded and asked her where she heard this. I was pretty upset, as that was the opposite of what I want to teach my kid, and she definitely did not hear this from my partner or myself. Visibly upset, I asked her how did this occur to her, but got no answer from her. I went the next day at school and asked the teacher whether such discussions have been made in class. She said no, and I went on my way. The next few days, my daughter became more distant and started saying that I'm not a good mummy, and that she doesn't like how Daddy or Anna, her babysitter, picked her up from care. I am the one who drops her off. And in general, complaining mostly about me having to work. I sat her down again calmly and asked her, what's going on? Those things had never been a problem before in my family, and she seemed to enjoy her after school time with her dad or babysitter. Again, she didn't say anything and just asked me when she can go play with her new friend from daycare. Being at my rope's end, I asked my pedopsychologist friend to sit down and have a chat with my daughter and see where the problem lies. Lo and behold, May's mom, who had been supervising their playtimes a couple of times, and at whose place my daughter has been, was making digs about me being a working mother. May's mom, Jen, 30 female, is a homemaker while her husband works in the banking sector. She seemed quite pleasant, and we've been around their place a couple of times before accompanying my daughter. Due to this, I trusted her to supervise my kid and have her at her place. I should mention that she's been insisting that my partner and I visit their place more often, but with a job, a PhD, and a kid, it's impossible. Anyway, from what my friend told me, the drilling has been going on for a couple of months. And Katie told her that her mom's friend always does all these nice things and asks her if she likes that she's always home making all those nice things and making herself pretty. Really? I can't even believe I'm typing these things. I cannot believe this is happening. I haven't confronted Jen yet, but I think I should. What do I say? I don't want my daughter to lose her friend due to her crazy mom, but these two haven't been hanging out much outside of daycare. My daughter is still pissy and complains at her dad and Anna when they come to pick her up every single day. And there is an update. I posted a few weeks ago about a mother in my daughter's kindergarten that made comments about stay-at-home moms being better than working moms. Nothing could prepare me for what followed. Warning. Very long post ahead. One thing I'd like to clarify from the comments I received was that I am not an absentee mother from my daughter's life, despite being a working mom. I am as involved as it gets. Katie has spent as many times at Jen's as May has spent at ours. I've been playing with the girls quite often when they're about and took them to the park, museums, etc., but this isn't the point. On the Katie frontier, our relationship has made a full recovery, and we are a strong unit again. I am so happy to have my daughter back, and we enjoy our moments together. She has even been asking to come to the office again and take her to my next outreach event. So the day after I made this post, Jay goes to pick Katie from kindergarten, and our favorite mom is there. She asks whether Katie wants to come over to play, and her and my partner can grab a coffee in the meantime. Jay declines, but she insists. Finally, the girls come out. Then Jen asks the girls whether they want to go play. Both of the little ones agree enthusiastically. Jay asked to be the bad cop and say another time because of other plans. He said he thought of letting Jen know why, but he's not very confrontational.
See, like, she's already weaponizing the children.
Yeah.
Do it
you
back.
said no, and then she's like, okay, well, I'm going to ask them anyway, and they're going to hate you. Couple of days go by, and Anna has been doing the kindergarten run due to Jay running experiments late. Jen asks again for a play date, and Anna knows to say no. Weekend comes, and Jay gets a text from Jen asking if he's busy and maybe he could bring Katie over. Jay replied that we want some time with our daughter for the weekend as a family. No reply. In the meantime, Katie had another session with my psychology friend. One of the things that got out is that Jen asks a lot about daddy. I took the next few days off as Jay was working from home, and I decided it would be nice to spend some extra time as a family. Hence, duty of picking Katie up became mine. Jen is there, and I try to start some sort of conversation by politely saying hi. She just briefly turns at me, replies with hi, and turns her head again. That's completely uncharacteristic of her, but I suspect she realizes that we are avoiding any further playdates. I thought of asking if May could come over, but her cold demeanor discouraged me completely. She says bye-bye to Katie when we are leaving. Okay. A few days after I'm back from work, Katie comes back with 2 cupcakes. 2. One for me, one for Daddy, she explains. Anna said that Jen gave them to her at pickup time and explained who gets what. No cupcake for me. I start joining the dots at that point. We discussed with Jay her odd behavior, and we thought that the best idea was to ignore her, not even thank her for the cupcakes, and have Anna pick Katie from school. Jay is getting his final results for a publication, so he cannot do it from now on anyway. So Jen keeps texting and even calling Jay. Never me. I'm an invisible working mother. Jay stops replying and picking up until 2 days ago. He asked Jen, what's the matter with the calls and texts? And Jen starts with, oh, you know, May's missing a child friend and has been pestering me the whole time. Only children need their friends, blah, blah, blah. Then my dear partner decides he's had enough and he has a go at her. Properly. He starts off with how we don't appreciate her comments aimed towards me being a working mother, and that singling me out on various occasions is not okay at all. And then it started. After a while, Jay put her on loudspeaker so I could hear the spectacle. Jen starts saying how unfair it is for him that his woman cannot take care of him, and how she's trying to be sympathetic of him being stuck with a career witch who only cares about her job and not her man and child. Jay is flabbergasted, but he manages to reply that that is not the case, and he is happy with all this, and he needs no sympathy, thanks but no thanks. He prefers other people to stay out of our business. Then she goes on about how our daughter is starved of motherly love, and how she can see it in her eyes, and that she's trying to be a mother figure for her. Jay again replies that he does not understand her motivation behind this, and that what she's talking about is completely unfounded. By that point, she's on loudspeaker, but didn't realize. She went on a tirade, about how she and Jay would be perfect and understand each other. They have both been neglected by their career-starved spouses, and that she can tell from the way he looks at her that he wants her too. She spent the next few minutes going on about all the signals that were there, and how Katie and May are practically sisters already, and that she knew they could make it all together and be happy. Jay and I were just looking at each other. I suspected that Jen had a crush on him after the cupcake incident, but that was too much. Jay finally spoke up and said that she was being absurd, and that he would prefer that she stays away from our daughter and our family in general. I took my turn saying that I heard most of the conversation and I wanted her to delete our numbers and never bother us again. She said that Jay has been lying all this time to me and they have been sleeping together.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, buddy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
And
the
I'm
pigs
the
are
freaking
flying.
Queen of England.
Yeah.
God save the queen.
Call me King Charles because I'm not real.
God save the queen.
She then hung up. That was some crazy crap that we never saw coming. We both blocked her mobile and home number and decided to pull Katie from the kindergarten. She will be temporarily attending the daycare program at Jay's University. Our phones have been receiving some anonymous calls and texts from another number. We are unsure how to proceed on that. Anyway, that was some fatal attraction crap right there. I hope that this is all behind us. And there is a second update, so I reckon it probably isn't all behind us.
Are the police getting involved?
It's not all teas and crumpets.
I posted these a few months ago, and given it all generated some interest, I decided to post the conclusion. In the end, things kind of solved themselves. After all the advice you guys gave me, I decided to speak with May's dad and tell him what happened before ordering a restraining order on Jen. We needed to look into that as well, as we are not U.S. residents. The harassment continued for a couple of days, and it prompted me to write him an email. His work email was the only contact detail I had. Turns out I didn't have to. 3 days after my post, May and her dad appeared on our doorstep. He was apologizing profusely before we said anything. We just sort of stood there. He appeared calm and composed, but you could tell he was quite distraught. Apparently, he knew that something was off for a while, and she's been mentioning Jay as an example father for a while. Lately, he noticed Jen getting out of bed in the middle of the night with her phone. She was indeed calling in the night sometimes, and being irritable in general. At first, he suspected an affair between her and Jay and decided he should contact me. He snooped her phone, laptop, and found a second phone he didn't know about and started looking into things. When he saw all those messages, he decided to confront her and all heck broke loose. They had a screaming match where Jen was verbally attacking him with May present. Poor kid. She was also talking crap about me, about how awesome Jay would be, the whole shebang. At the end, she tried to attack him in front of their kid. And that's when he grabbed May and left. He asked her to leave in 3 hours or else he'd call the cops on her. He then mentioned that Jen and himself had marital problems for a while. She was supposed to be a stay-at-home mother in order to raise their daughter, take care of their amazing place, and potentially expand their family. He comes from old money, he didn't say it that way, and he was happy that he found a woman to share his values with. Instead, he had to pay people to do most of the things around the house, have May in the kindergarten while Jen focused on her image. Expanding their family became soon out of the question, and she has been quite resentful and neurotic for a while. We laid out the timeline of events, and he took it calmly. He made sure no one was hurt and that Jen hadn't been around our place. She somehow hadn't, and asked whether we wanted to press charges. We mentioned the restraining order, and he said that it would actually be beneficial for everyone involved. He was very apologetic about us having to pull Katie out of the kindergarten and all the we sustained. He seemed to have learned his lesson about being so absent from home. I forgot to mention that while he was at ours, Jay's phone blew up with texts and calls from a random number. The messages ranged from how Jay had ruined her life to how her heartless husband left her and took their kid and she needs support and somewhere to stay. What the actual heck? We set the motions for the restraining order the next day and she stopped initiating any sort of contact. After a while, her now ex-husband called us to thank us for everything and give us a small update. Wow. The fact that Jen got a restraining order on top of him having access to top lawyers and the whole harmful act incident, I assume, has granted him temporary custody of their daughter and he hopes to make it permanent. I feel like
only temporary.
Yeah, that's insane. I feel like you would be, maybe it's only temporary because they have to go through more.
She was trying to steal someone's husband at our child's daycare and then verbally and physically assaulted me in front of our child.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll let you have the kid for a week.
And also she's got they've got a restraining order against her now. So I feel like one should help.
Give the man that child.
He intends to move to a country home near his parents where May is for now. From what I have seen from him, I bet she will soon be educated at some of the best boarding schools around.
Indeed. Oh.
By the way, you can listen to some of the best full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. As for Jen, it seems she won't get much custody of their daughter in the end. Didn't mention much about her, and I don't want to hear about her either. My family is doing well. We have left all those things behind us, but I am willing to leave a door open for May and her father, and my partner is happy with that as well. We also have a new puppy.
Yay!
Anyway, thank you for all the advice. I wonder if was the puppy always gonna happen, or was your daughter like, why can't I see my friend? And you were like, puppy, and she's
This is your friend now.
Yeah.
This is your friend now,
This is your
puppy.
friend now.
But that is the end of that story.